Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cosmic Waves Tarot. I'm so happy that you're here today. Today we have a reading for everybody, and this reading is just going to broadly focus on some encouragement and some guidance, whatever area of your life you need it in. I know for me this time of year, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so it's the fall. It's starting to get a bit darker. And I know I struggle a little bit with this season because it can just feel very fatiguing and a little bit sad. And so maybe you're the same way. And if you are, that's okay. If you're feeling great, I'm very happy for you. But maybe just something else in your life, you feel a little bit stagnant or you just want some encouragement. So this reading is going to focus on that broadly. As always, you can take what resonates, and if something doesn't feel true for you today, that's okay. It doesn't have to stick. As a reminder, I love doing individual readings as well. So I love when people ask me questions in the comments and I'm able to do a reading for them and answer their specific situation in a little bit more of a personalized manner. So please don't hesitate if you do have a question. I absolutely love the Q&A format as well. So please do leave a comment and I would love to make a video for you. But let's get back to this reading. I'm shuffling and asking the tarot now for some guidance and some inspiration to share. Maybe where we can find sources of inspiration or some positivity that is coming for us. And let's just see what the cards have to say today. Do one more shuffle. All right, let's see what we have. We've got the Queen of Cups, intuition. Five of Wands, competition. And the Devil. So this is a very interesting drawing here. By the way, I'm using the Field Tarot, which is a deck I really love because I think the art is very, very beautiful and very inspiring. So here we have one major arcana and two minor arcana cards. And at first glance, this type of reading might not strike you as very positive, but I think that this might actually be where we might find some inspiration or where we might see things starting to turn around in our lives. So let me just go ahead and start with the loudest card, the card with the strongest message, which is our major arcana card here, the Devil. Traditionally, in the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, this card portrays a devil with two human figures trapped and chained beside him. This art is a little bit different, of course. We have this kind of skull with these horns leading up, and it has just a very, different feeling to this card. But traditionally, the Devil is all about a situation that you feel you don't have control over, or something that's kind of pulling your focus away from what you normally do. And so this could be a situation of addiction, or maybe a person that is exerting a strong influence on you that you feel disempowered by. This could even kind of be a work situation if you feel you are trapped in something, like maybe your salary is really good, but it's a very toxic environment. That could be the Devil for you. Maybe there's some sort of friendship that has that abusive, toxic dynamic, or even a romantic relationship. So this can look many, many different ways. And when the Devil comes up, it can even highlight the fact that we sometimes play a role in that toxicity or in allowing that person or that situation to have power over us. And so whenever the devil comes up, it's a reminder that we cannot give away our energy for free, or at least not carelessly. We have to be very thoughtful and very protective of our energy and our intention and who we spend our time with. So when this card comes up, it's a really good opportunity to kind of take stock and review all the areas of our life. Is there any sort of devil influence in your life? Is there a person? Is there a relationship? Is there a substance or some sort of situation that is taking away your power and placing the control into another person? And do you have any role to play in this? Do you know that someone is bad for you, but you keep going back to them? Do you know that a certain friend is always really toxic and problematic, but they have good times too, so you just keep hanging out with them and tolerating this negativity? Do you know that you could leave your job, but you just feel like you might as well stick it out? Is there even something that you're using, like, for example, abusing alcohol, that you feel like the situation isn't that bad and it's fine, I'm in control, but deep down you know you're really not? If that's the case, this card is really encouraging you to say, you know what, enough is enough, and I'm going to change my situation. So it's really, really important that you call back your power to you, and that can look many, many different ways, of course, depending on the situation. But oftentimes it's a call to kind of cut off a certain area of your life that is no longer serving you. So it's a little bit different from the Death card, because that's all about endings and transformations. The devil does have a little bit of that, but it's a little bit of a different situation where you are re-empowering yourself and you're cutting off those negative influences, and you're just kind of taking stock of your life and seeing what can stay and what has to go. So again, this card kind of can be a red flag, at least because it reveals to us what is really going on under the surface, and it might indicate that a situation we thought we had under control really actually is not under control. But then it's a very, very good opportunity to come back into our power, to cut off toxic situations, and really to change our life in a really meaningful way. So if this resonates with you, really, really do find what your devil is or where it is in your life, and then do everything you can to make that devil go away. Maybe that involves therapy, maybe that involves setting boundaries with someone or with a certain situation. Maybe that involves a very dramatic change, like you have to move or you have to change jobs. So whatever it is, the devil comes up to say, it's time, you have to make this move, and you have to kind of get rid of or at least mitigate this devil in your life. And so in terms of encouragement and guidance, I think that's actually a huge opportunity, because once this devil is gone, your life will improve dramatically. And so I think that this spread here is saying, okay, let's focus on this big kind of energy drain, this big presence in your life that is really taking away your power, because once you deal with this, everything else will fall into place. Next, let's move on here to the Five of Wands. If I can pick up the card, that would be awesome. The Five of Wands is called competition in this deck. And wands in the tarot correspond to our passion, energy, sexuality, vitality. It is the fire sign of the tarot. And the Five is a card kind of about friction and instability. because of course it follows the 4, which in the tarot is all about, fulfillment and rest. So the 4 is a very stable card, and then the 5 comes afterward and is a lot less stable. And so this card traditionally depicts 5 children using these little wands, and they're kind of play fighting with each other. So it is a form of competition. And the traditional thought with this card is that yes, maybe there's some paths that are crossed, maybe there's a few heads that are butting against each other, but it's more like kind of play fighting. It's not hugely combative. And I think we see that in this card as well. It's called competition, not war, not combat, because yes, there's some friction and there's some different energies, but it's not very harsh or very fatal. And even some healthy competition can be a good thing because it can spur us to do better. It can encourage us to push ourselves, maybe more than if we were just relaxing at the top of our game. And so when this card comes up, I think in a reading about guidance and inspiration, maybe take a look at if there's any sort of competition in your life. And if there is, how are you addressing that? How do you respond to that? Does competition stress you out? Do you always feel just completely overwhelmed and disempowered when you are competing with someone? Or on the other hand, does it encourage you and make you want to be better? Competition can look many, many different ways. It can be with someone else. It can be against, a group of people. And it can even be with yourself. So maybe you're competing against a prior version of yourself, comparing yourself to last year, 5 years ago, and seeing how far you've come in that time. And if you can't identify any competition in your life, and maybe you're just thinking, I don't know, this card doesn't seem to apply to me, it might actually be time to not invite in competition, but maybe to just kind of bring in some of this energy where you do feel a little bit stretched. You do put yourself in situations where you have to learn, or you have to kind of try and stand out in a certain way. Again, competition is not inherently bad. It can be a bad thing if it's too extreme. So if you feel like, oh yeah, I'm already super competitive and I'm always just really combative and ready to go, maybe that is a sign to take that back a notch. But if you're not at all, this card could be showing that there is an opportunity to improve yourself and maybe to gain a sense of purpose from having a healthy sense of competition. Again, it totally does not have to be with another person. It could even be just a competition with yourself to create something new every day. Or maybe it's a financial competition, again, not to compare yourself to other people, but just to put yourself in a more stable and secure situation every day. So just give some thought to what competition exists in your life, if there is a lack and you need some more, or if there is an excess and you need to reduce. It's always kind of good to just take stock, and I think the devil and this card work well together because they kind of have perhaps not a similar energy, but they call for a similar reflection. We have to take stock of everything going on in our life. We have to identify our devils, and we should identify what kind of competition, if any, we need, maybe what we have too much of, and adjust from there. It's always important to keep things in balance. And so this card, once again, just says, okay, especially in the realm of our energy and our priorities, what is healthy, what is good, what encourages us to grow, and what maybe is a little bit strangling, and what is taking up too much of our time. So you might have different things competing for your attention. I think we all do in this day and age. And again, this card just encourages us to take stock of that. Because again, if you do have healthy competition or a productive sense of comparing yourself with other people, that can be a good motivator. It can be a good sense of purpose, and it can give you a sense of pride in yourself as well when you can see how far you've come. So that seems to be some guidance, some inspiration here, is just to make sure you have a healthy level of this and see where you might need more or where you might need less. And finally, we have a very beautiful and supportive card here to help us do all of this. Because as I said, these two cards, the Five of Wands and the Devil, require a lot of introspection, and they ask for a lot of reflection onto the themes of your life and what you've been doing, how you've been responding. And so we need that really deep intuitive energy to be able to do that. And this is where the Queen of Cups comes in. She's actually called Intuition in this deck. And cups in the tarot correspond to our emotions, our intuition, and our relationships to other people. So it's that very watery sign where we kind of go within and we're able to understand our own emotions and relate to other people on a very deep level. And the Queen in the tarot is all about that kind of nurturing, gentle energy that maybe is a little bit opposed to the masculine energy that is more aggressive and assertive. The Queen is much more feminine and gentle in that way. And so this cup card is all about that really wonderful, intuitive, feminine energy where we're just able to really tap into our own emotions. We're able to connect very, very deeply with other people. And we're able to just have that sense of intuition. We know where we need to go. We know what is right and wrong. We even maybe have this kind of supernatural sense of what is happening around us. And so this card, I think, as I said, is very, very supportive of these other two, because this card to me shows you have the capacity, and in fact, you're able to continue building the capacity to be able to do this. It's not easy to really be honest with ourselves and take stock of where our devils are or what the competition in our life looks like. Those can sometimes be uncomfortable conversations, even if you're just confronting it within yourself. And so you have to be brave, but also you have to be very vulnerable. And especially if you're sharing that with another person, it can be very hard to open up in that way. But the Queen of Cups here really shows us that we can do that. We are able to have the capacity to go very deep and then to be very open with other people. So this card is just really, really beautiful and really encourages us to be brave and be very big-hearted, very open with our emotions. You can see this represented in this water behind the Queen. She's appears to be sitting on this balcony in front of this vast ocean. And the water here represents that, the feelings and the intuition. And because it's so vast and so broad, it doesn't even fit on this card. And that represents the depth and the vastness of your emotional realm and my emotional realm. It really is infinite, and we can spend our whole lifetimes exploring. And that's a really beautiful thing, and it's very important because our whole life we require emotional introspection and sharing that with other people and learning from them and vice versa. So all that is to say, in terms of guidance and inspiration, it looks like a lot of that will come from within. So yes, we have to look at the external factors, maybe the people and situations in our life, but we'll never unlock the answers and be able to change our life unless we really can understand how we're responding, what that's coming from, and how we are going to deal with it. So going within, understanding our own emotions, and then being able to convey those to other people is really what is going to unlock the insights necessary to deal with these other areas of our life. And so on the whole, this reading really does tell a story where we need to understand the influences of our life, especially the negative ones with the devil. We need to take stock of where our energy is. If we are able to either light more of a fire underneath us or kind of cool it down depending on what's going on. And then really to understand these lessons and implement them with the help of the Queen of Cups. So that is the guidance that I'm getting from this reading today. Again, as I said in the beginning, if you have a specific question or something that you are wondering about in your life, please do ask me and I would love to answer for you. Also, please do subscribe. I will have the November reading coming out pretty soon, so do stay on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I will just see you in the next video. Thank you again for watching. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good luck with all of this. It's not easy work, but it is incredibly important. So I'm sending you all the best and see you the next time.